We getting that rain we need it, y'all. The garden's gonna be enjoying this. Yes, indeed. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Louisiana Homestead. How are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are doing just fine. We got a little rain yesterday evening, and it did a number on our figs, which it does this every single year. Well, my husband has a little name for it. He calls it the Samidad. Every year when the figs come in, it looks like the rain start, and it causes a little problem with the fig harvest. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. The figs become ripe, and when they get these rains on them like this, what happens is sometimes they will split like that one. I don't know if you can see it real good. I'll get it out of the tree where we can look at it better. You see that, how it splits? And it'll start to sour, and it's not any more good. When I see one like this, I wouldn't even pick it to eat. I would just throw it on the ground for the chickens to have. So when these rains happen, that's what happens to your figs. And you see a lot of them have fallen out of the tree yesterday evening too, with that wind and the rain. It just can wreak havoc on your fig harvest. So when you have that rain happen like that, you need to get out and pick your figs as quick as possible. And that's also another reason to keep your figs picked every day. If you can, get out here and pick them every day. Put them in a bag and freeze them until you can get to them to make jams, jellies, or whatever you would like to make with them. Sometimes we've even dehydrated them, and they're good like that also. So I just wanted to share that little bit of information with you in case you've never heard of that. Also, I called my sister-in-law and I asked her, does she want some figs? Because I already picked a gallon or two for my aunt and a gallon or two for my mom. So my freezer is pretty full of them right now, and I also have some canned already. So I'm trying to give some to my neighbors and my family who would like some, and to do something with them. So my sister-in-law is supposed to be coming in a little while, and she's gonna get whatever she wants off of these trees as well, because there's 2 trees and they're plumb loaded right now. All right, y'all, looks like we got us some trespassers in this garden again, and Mr. E's gonna have to run them out every day. They find a way in here, and they know they're not supposed to be in here. Look at them. Oh my goodness. He's gone. Look at him, he's chasing them out of here. Little trespassing chickens. They know where that gate is, but they hear me right here. I need to back up. Uh-huh. Okay, I guess that's all of them.
Yeah. But the last rooster and hen that kept doing that, we got rid of them, if y'all know what I mean.
Right. They do. They come in here and they like to scratch under that hay and everything. It's got bugs under there. It's nice and cool under that straw and hay. And the chickens come and scratch that hay off and get them bugs out of it. Okay, now that we got the chickens out,
they're gonna land up in a black pot if they ain't careful.
Yeah, they will, because we ain't scared to do that. One of the reasons we raise chickens is to eat them, not just to eat their eggs. So they might be volunteering for something they don't know they're volunteering for. All right, we got them out of here. Now we headed up to the front garden, and we're gonna pick some more of that squash and zucchini. There's a good bit of it.
For seeds, saving, and for chicken feed.
Yeah, I was in here just the day before yesterday picking okra actually, and I got me a few squash and zucchini while I was out here, and I seen there's a whole other crop of it to be picked for the chickens and for saving seeds from as well. So it's back to the garden with the wagon because it's gonna be another heavy load.
I'm gonna pick me some yellow squash on this end to save for seeds, and some zucchini on the other end to save for seeds. I don't want to pick them in the middle because that's where they might have cross-pollinated more.
Right.
You know, I want them to be isolated as much as possible. Just yellow squash and just zucchini.
Right.
But the ones I'm gonna pick this morning to save for seeds, I'm gonna put in this bucket.
Okay.
That way I'm gonna know which ones they were, because I won't know if I just throw them all in here.
Right. Makes sense. I'm gonna show them these sunflowers right quick before we get started. They're starting to go to seed. That makes some big seed heads too, some of them. Okay. So he's getting his ones he wants for his seed right now. That's why he's got his bucket, like he explained. Probably getting the prettiest ones and the ones closest to this end, like he said. Oh yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
You don't.
Boy, there's a lot of good squash in here to eat. That's still good.
Yeah, we'll have to get some. Rana maybe will get some too when she comes.
A lot of this is just gonna, you can tell them, they can't hear me. A lot of this is just gonna rot back in, and it'll probably resprout some fall crops.
Yeah, it probably will resprout some fall crops, he was saying, because some of it's gonna rot back into the ground, the seeds and all, and it'll resprout. We was talking the other day about how we used to use the bulk fertilizer, and really it was mostly that we did use, like Miracle Grow and everything, and now that we're using all this chop and drop and more natural fertilizers with the tea and everything, there's more nutrients and minerals, micro minerals and all that going back into the ground, which means that's going into the food that we're eating that we normally wouldn't have gotten out of the Miracle Grow and commercial type fertilizers. The plants are keeping up pretty good, but I would imagine they couldn't go too much longer in this heat. But we're gonna see. They're going longer than I thought they would have.
It's the toughest squash I ever raised, and I think it's because of the organic fertilizer, basically.
Yeah, because like we was saying just now, you know, the they're getting more minerals than they would have from the commercial type fertilizers, which is making them stronger. It's
just like the foods we eat. The commercial fertilizers got NPK, they call it, the nitrogen and potassium and phosphorus and potassium, and but the plants don't get all the other micronutrients, you know, because the people keep growing stuff in there. But just like the foods we eat is grown with all that, even the animals, you know, that people eat out the stores.
That's what the farmers use in their crops.
So we're missing all the micronutrients. But when you picking all kind of green stuff like comfrey too, and all the different leaves, and making that fertilizer tea, you're putting those micronutrients when you use that tea.
Yeah, because it has the animal manure in it also, which they've eaten every kind of plant out there in the pasture as well.
So anyway, I can see the difference in this crop because they didn't get disease this year. They didn't get nothing. This is the best crop. And this is the first year that I use exclusively fertilizer tea, homemade fertilizer tea.
Yeah, so it just stands to reason that we would be healthier also, just like the plants are healthier getting all the nutrients they need. We also would be healthier getting all the nutrients we need, because we need a lot more than NPK, right?
It made them more disease resistant, it seems like, and just strong and tough, and they can take this heat and everything. I mean, these squash, they rolling. Usually them squash don't last long in the heat, and the fungus gets them. And anyway, look, there's them.
There's some of them vegetables we created. Look at there. We've got a striped zucchini here. Isn't that pretty? All right, he's getting his zucchinis he wants for his seeds down there. And I think I'm going to turn this camera off for a minute and help him pick, and we'll show you what we have picked when we're done. Got some of those little bees in here again. Okay, y'all, our wagon's filling up. We had picked it all from the center over there and threw it out to the edge so that we could gather it easy with the wagon and not have to go through all them rows and weeds and plants. It's probably about 10 o'clock maybe, and it is getting warm out here.
It's 9:15.
Oh, it's 9:15, excuse me. It feels like 2 o'clock. It's so
like
hot out here.
130 degrees with 100% humidity.
Oh yeah, the sweat is just, it's a good time to sweat if you want to sweat, that's for sure. You ought to be able to sweat out all kind of impurities doing this kind of work. You can detox.
Yeah, if you stay out here a little while, you dry up and blow away.
I believe it.
You be doing like that song, oh, fly away.
We'll dry up and fly away. We keep working like this. We sure enough getting a wagon load. Mr. E said we better stop because I think that wagon, we got enough to fill that wagon up. I said, you believe? He said, oh, I believe so. And look here, he knows. He done did it enough. He knows how much it'll take to fill up that wagon. Okay. I'm gonna let him pick those up because I don't know if that's something special or what he got going with these on the side here. Oh, Lord, have mercy. And it's still full of them out there. So we pick them like this every few days and bring them up there close to the barn and the house where we can feed them to the chickens. And once this is fed out, we'll come out here and do it again. Okay, this is our sweet potato patch. This is the sweet potato plant, what it looks like. They're planted on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, looks like 12 rows of them. You got these weeds coming up in them. It's a type of amaranth. This one doesn't have the spines on it, so they're a little bit easier to pull. And since we got that rain last night, that also makes them a little easier to pull. So this is one of the jobs for today as well. There's always something to do on a farm, and I know I say that all the time.
Because it's always true.
Because it's always true, he said. And that's right.
I'm going to come back in here after a while. I'm wore out.
Yeah, I hear you.
But But I might as well pull these while I can pull them, because they're going to make seeds like crazy and run me nuts.
Yeah, they will.
I know it looks like there ain't no sweet potatoes here, but it is, and they'll make.
Oh yeah, they'll overcome the weeds.
I don't use no poison to keep the weeds out of them.
No.
And it's impossible to keep weeds out of a sweet potato patch without poison. Not if you're gonna do manual labor and pull them. You'll never keep them out. Unless you got a small sweet potato patch. But this is 12 rows that are about 90 foot long.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be able to keep that out too easy by hand.
This is where we had that ryegrass that you see. This is where that ryegrass patch was from last year that you might have saw in some videos.
Yeah.
I need to go finish bringing that squash to the house and take a break.
Okay. One of the reasons we planted the sweet potatoes in here, I don't know if you can tell, but this one garden here, it can be shut off from the animals and from the other gardens.
They all can.
And there's also a place in the fence there. You see where the sheep and goats are eating? There's a place in the fence there that can be opened where the animals can come in. And that's where he would let them in when he had the wheat in here.
Ryegrass.
Ryegrass, I'm sorry.
And what I did, you plant your sweet potatoes in June. They go June, July, August, a little bit of September here in Louisiana. That's when nothing else can grow real good, but sweet potatoes will thrive in that. And then about in September, when you harvest your sweet potatoes, all the other grass and weeds is pretty much gone. The sheep and goats don't have a whole lot to eat.
In their pastures.
In their pastures. And instead of shredding your sweet potato vines or pulling your sweet potato vines first, before I harvest the sweet potatoes, I'm out of breath, y'all.
I know. I'm sorry.
Before I harvest the sweet potatoes, in September, when the goats and sheep need some greens, I can let them in here for about a week.
And it'll help them, and it'll help the garden, and it'll help us. They can come in.
And they can clean up all the vines and all the weeds, and then I can harvest my sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
It's planned that way.
And while they're in here, they'll be leaving a little fertilizer behind as well.
That's right.
On to the next project here. It's getting to be about 3 o'clock in the evening, and I have a little bit of mowing I wanted to do under this big tree. It's still a little tall from how Mr. E had cut it with that sling blade thing the other day. So I wanted to just trim it up a little bit where I could get in here and pick a little easier. My sister-in-law came and she picked about 2 5-gallon buckets of figs earlier today. And that's, I mean, she took as much as what she could do with. And this side of the tree still hasn't been picked. So it's still got a lot of ripe figs here. I may pick those when I get through mowing. So I'm going to be using my little Craftsman mower here with the batteries on it. It does a real good job. I love it. It's very easy to use. So that's what I'm about to do. Okay, that's a lot better. I can really get in here now underneath this tree and pick a lot easier. You see the difference from what's cut and what's not cut? Looks a lot better. Be a lot easier to walk through here and get at what I need to get at to pick these figs in here. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you'll